Hello, my name is Scott Ferguson. I am a licensed realtor with Dreamtown Realty here in the great city of Chicago. So, are you at that point in your life where you're thinking, maybe it's time to stop renting and actually purchase the condo of your dreams? Buying versus renting. What's the deal? So, buying a home is probably one of the smartest moves you could ever make. It's an investment in your future. As a homeowner, you're going to be able to, one, build equity. You build cash equity in your home as you pay down the principal on your mortgage. And historically, most homes rise in value over time. Number two, you stabilize your monthly expenses. A fixed rate mortgage will remain the same over 30 years and will never change, as opposed to renting, where your rent is most likely to go up every month. And third, you reduce your tax burden. The interest that you pay on your home loan and your property taxes are both tax deductible. And the profits from any sale of your home are also tax-free, which is unlike most other investments. Sure, you may have less work to do in maintaining a rental unit. You might have somebody who could do the work for you, that kind of a thing. You might need less cash up front to rent, but you don't build any equity. And your rent price can actually raise every year. You also don't get any tax deductions. So, what are the steps to buying your first place? The first step is to make sure that your credit is in good shape. So check your score and talk with a financial advisor if there are ways that you could repair your credit if it's needed. So that's the first step. Next, secure a lender. You will want to get pre-approved for a mortgage right away. So it's actually free and easy and painless, I promise. It takes about 20 minutes, and it's a very important way to get concise information about how much home that you could actually buy. You don't want to fall in love with a place that you can't afford. And you might actually find out that you can afford more home than you think you actually could. So, your realtor can recommend you to a lender, and I could help you with that as well. And just know that a realtor is never compensated for making a referral to a mortgage company or any other financial institution. So that's the first step. Next, finding the right home. That's where the process gets really exciting, obviously. Once you've finished budgeting and mortgage planning, it's time to start looking for the home of your dreams. So your realtor will discuss your wants and needs, exactly what you're looking for, and then you'll search everywhere and find the properties that meet your criteria. Then you'll visit those properties, and eventually you'll find one that you absolutely love. So next, putting in an offer. Your realtor will negotiate on your behalf to make an offer to purchase the property contingent upon 3 approvals: your mortgage approval, your legal approval from your attorney, and a home inspection with a professional inspector. Once you pass all of those contingencies, it's just a matter of waiting for the closing date. All right, so how much does it really cost to purchase a home? First thing you should know is a real estate agent is free. You don't have to pay for the services of using a realtor. They are paid from the commission at closing. So that's good to know. The first money that you're going to owe when purchasing a home is what's called earnest money. So this is an amount that you're going to offer to the seller to show that you are serious about actually purchasing the property. This money is held in escrow to protect both the buyer and the seller, right? So if one of the contingencies is not met legally, then you can get your earnest money back if you decide not to purchase. But if you illegally break the contract for some way, the seller can actually end up taking your earnest money. The amount of the earnest money usually ranges from about $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the place you are purchasing, and you can decide with your realtor how much money that will actually be. The next money that will be due is called the down payment. Typically, in order to avoid what's called private mortgage insurance, or PMI, you're going to need to put down 20% of the purchase price. But, that can be a lot of money. Trust me, there are ways and many options for down payments. First of all, you could have money gifted to you by a family member, for example. But also, your lender can answer questions that you may have. But as a first-time home buyer, there are lots of programs out there where you can get down payments as little as 5 or even 3% down. There are even some programs where you can purchase with zero money down. And the mayor of Chicago just announced the Home Buyer Assistance Program. This is a new program that's going to start in a couple of months, and it can give you a grant of up to $12,000 to cover down payment and closing costs. So if you're a first-time home buyer and your household income is less than about $102,000, some of these grants might be a great help to you. But there's only a limited amount of money, and so they're going to go fast, so time is of the essence. So the next fee is lender fees. Shop around. When you're looking for a mortgage for a lender, mortgage lenders it's a business. You have to remember that. And so they're going to compete for your business. So there are different fees involved in getting a mortgage, which are typically around 1% of the cost of the home that you're going to buy. So shop around and see if you can find some with the lowest amount of fees or the best rate, that kind of a thing. The next fee you're going to come across is attorney fees. In the state of Illinois, you have to have an attorney represent you in the purchase of a home. So generally, attorneys are going to charge a flat rate, which ranges from about $500 to $800, and this will cover the entire transaction. And that fee is paid at the closing. Inspection fees are the next fee you're going to come across. This is where the buyer must have the property inspected by a professional inspector. It's usually done within a few days after your offer is accepted, and the fees for this service typically run about $300 to $400, and they are paid up front the day of the inspection. Next, there's homeowners insurance. This is simply getting insurance from anyone you want for the home that you are purchasing. You're going to need to provide proof of coverage at closing. Finally, it's time for closing day. So this is where all of the money changes hands and where you will actually sign a bunch of papers and get the keys to your new place. So at closing, this is where you're going to bring your down payment and all of your closing fees to the table. The earnest money that you've already submitted is going to be counted towards your down payment, so you'll just be bringing the balance of the down payment as well as the rest of the closing fees. Now, the fees that are commonly paid at closing include your lender fees, which we already discussed, title insurance, title company fees, any prepaid mortgage interest, property taxes, insurance, transfer taxes, recording fees for the city of Chicago and the county, and then also your attorney fees. So all of these fees added together, if you want to figure them out, will generally be about 1 or 2% of your loan amount. So be prepared for that. It's generally around $5,000 to $7,000. The other thing to remember is your realtor can put in the contract that the seller will give you a credit at closing to help pay your closing costs. So you can always discuss that with your real estate agent. You can sometimes get up to $5,000 given to you by the seller to help you pay your closing costs, and that can really help. So just remember, it is possible to buy your first home. With lots of programs out there for first-time home buyers, it's actually very attainable to own your own home. Buying the condo of your dreams doesn't have to be a dream. It is absolutely possible, and I can help you attain your dream home. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions at all. I'd be happy to send you a link to my buyer's guide, which will give you all kinds of information, everything you ever need to know about financial planning and getting ready to buy the home of your dreams. Thanks for listening, and best of luck.